Hello, welcome back to the Thrifty Suburbanite channel. Today's project is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be about this box blade. It's going to be a box blade for my CS2520, and yeah, you guessed it, a little too wide, isn't it? CS2520 wouldn't pull this, not effectively anyway, I don't think. I had to use the forks to bring it up here just to drop it off. Darn thing weighs way too much. The story behind it. Sold on Marketplace. It was advertised as a 60-inch back blade. Well, 60-inch, yeah, we might be able to use that on the Kioti. Made a great deal on it. Guy put it on his trailer. He was coming into the area, brought it to my house. As soon as I saw it, I said, oh boy, it's a little too big. And that was confirmed when we went to take it off the trailer. I don't know how much this thing weighs. It's around 400 pounds, I imagine. It's way too big for the tractor. The project is going to be twofold. Get this hitch repaired. This has already been welded back on, this tang here that comes out. It's 5/16 inch steel, I guess. The mounting point is the weak part of these King Cutter blades, of this era anyway. They've since updated this hitch version. It's got bigger pieces of steel that come down. It's a lot more sturdy as far as back blades go. Hopefully by cutting this down to 4 feet, I'm going to alleviate a lot of the problems with the hitch breaking. If not, I'm just going to keep welding it. It's not going to get a lot of use. It's not going to be used to pull stumps. This is a grade topsoil and maybe some asphalt millings on the driveway, and that's just about it. So yeah, we got all the pieces for it. I have new hitch pins. I have some marks on the blade itself. It's been tweaked a little bit, so the marks aren't exactly right. I kept going over and over and trying to get it exactly right. It's within 1/8 of an inch of accuracy. So back blade, that's all we're going to get. That's all we're going to need. I do have the shanks for it back in the woods there, between 6 of them. They're probably about 100 pounds. I figured I'd just take them off and leave them there. We're still going to have 4 on. The only thing I'm kind of concerned with is the mounting for the bar, the wear bar. When I cut it, if I am successful in cutting it with my Harbor Freight cutoff wheels, there's going to be quite a distance between the last support bolt, the plow bolt, and the edge of the blade. As of right now, it's mounted 2 bolts right next to the edge, so it's kind of strong. Again, I don't know. I'll use it. It gets tweaked out. We'll take it off and fix it again. But I don't think I'm going to be putting that much stress on it. Enough talking. Let's see if we can get to cutting this. So, next thing is, we have to cut the backs off. All the way in here. The problem is, these wear bars are connected at the ends here. So even if I do cut it here, it's still going to be secured all the way across. You can't unscrew these things. They're all rusted in. You can see how this end is bent here without enough support. So I'm just going to take and grind these off, these 4, because then I'll go down, cut the back, and figure out where it is I want to cut the wear bar. If you can see here, I'll try to show a close-up. The wear bar doesn't go all the way to the side. So I'm going to try to replicate that here. So I'll cut the back down to a certain point, and then figure out where it's going to wind up, and then move over a 1/2 inch or so, and then cut this wear bar and come back and cut whatever's left later. Both ends are sawed off now. That was most of the weight and most of the strength also. It's really weak without these end pieces being welded on. So that's the next step, is to grind these this center beam off and the blade off of this end, clean everything up, make sure my cuts are pretty square, make it easier to weld, and just go weld the whole thing back together again. Easier said than done. It's a lot of grinding, a lot of figuring out, but I'll get to it. All right, both ends are cut apart. Here's the blade part. I don't know what I'll do with that. Junk, probably. I'll cut it apart, make other projects out of it. Here's the reinforcement bar that goes across the middle. It's kind of cockeyed. This thing's had a hard life. And here's the end. This is what I'm going to save. I'm going to grind this down flat, and I'm going to weld this back on. These Harbor Freight grinders came through for me again. You might think I'm a little bit nuts because I have so many of them. I think I have 5 altogether. 6. 5 like this and 1 from 1997 that I've used forever. But what I do with these, I have so many of them, is I have an attachment on each one that's unique. One has a cup wire wheel, another one has a flat wire wheel, one has a flapper disc, another has another flapper with a different grit on it, and on and on and on. That way, every time I want to do a specific task, I just grab the grinder that's already set up. I don't have to unscrew it and put it back together again. For 10 bucks a piece, that's why I'm going to keep doing it. It saves me a lot of time, a lot of frustration. So this is what I go with. This is what I use. Recommend it highly for anybody. Now I have to grind down some of these welded areas and put this back on. Alright, going to fast forward a little bit through the grinding. Seen enough of that. I have it ground down so it pretty much matches up where it's got to go. So this is the plan now. A couple clamps. I have to hold it for a second while I tack it on there and then move on and weld some of the rest of it up. But she's looking good. Stand by for welding. So I got this one end tacked on. It's ringing. That's ringing. To me that means the metal's connected. Got a tack in the middle here on the main beam. A couple beads run down the back here. I don't claim to be a welder. The old adage with grinders and paint has to do with me. But it seems like it's strong. Welding is done, so I'll put it back together. Now it's 4 feet instead of 6 feet. This is what I wanted. Going to use this in trails in the woods, and they're only 4 feet wide. Now the next step is going to be to prepare this for painting. With that in mind, switch gears with the Harbor Freight grinders. 120 grit flapper wheel for the last sanding. I brought out the old Central Tractor grinder. 60 grit, and there's I don't know, 36 grit or so. Takes care of the grinding. Now there's still some of the slag and stuff to get off, so I have the grinder. I think that's a Fiend, is that how you say that? I don't even know where I got that one. I have a flat wire wheel and I have a cup wire wheel. Always looks better when it's all one color, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to call this project finished for now. I still have some more work to do. I need plow bolts to hold the cutting edge on. Nobody around here has plow bolts. Fastenal is not a public place to do business anymore. I thought they would have it. They don't. I had to order them through Amazon.com, and they're coming on a slow boat from China. I hate to do it, but that's what happened. I have the cutting shanks mounted. I had the hitch back on. I had to pound that in submission because a lot of stuff didn't line up. Like I said, this thing's been bent before. But the primary objective has been met. It was a 6-foot blade. Now it's 4. Fits on the tractor. I had it on there. The tractor lifts it. Not a problem. That's about it for now. Get those plow bolts in. Get the cutting edge secured a little bit better. Run it through the dirt. Knock some of this fresh paint off. And I'll report back about how it works. Thanks for watching. Thrifty Suburbanite signing off.